Hello art friends, my name is Fleshwad and welcome to the channel. You asked for it, so I drew it. Here is my continuation of If Santa's Reindeers Were Human, with some exceptions and missing some reindeer, but we'll get to that later. First off, I'd like to thank those of you who asked for me to draw the other reindeer. I'm surprised so many of you wanted to see the rest. That made me very happy, so thank you. On to our first reindeer for this video, Vixen. According to the Google Dictionary, Vixen is another word for a female fox, which is pretty perfect considering I was drawing the reindeer as girls. However, when coming up with the design for Vixen, I completely forgot about the human part for some reason, so Vixen is the only reindeer who is not 100% human, but more like a fox humanoid. In retrospect, I should have drawn the fox as a mask instead of as her actual skin, but I've come to love this piece and I didn't want to redraw it. That and I'm a little lazy, so sorry Vixen, you are the only reindeer who is not 100% human. I really loved my line art for Vixen, but I also really liked the pose. I put her tail in front of her body as a way to end the piece without just being a straight cutoff, which I feel like makes the whole piece look a little bit softer. This piece is also incredibly orange, which is fun since I've never done an orange piece. When it came time to color, I really wish I knew how to imitate fur better. I think I did okay on her skin and tail, but her hair looks more like a mane to me, which makes me think of a lion. But since she does have fox features, I feel like overall she is very recognizable as a fox. For her skin, I just used the watercolor brush, but very tiny, and chose random oranges, reds, and browns to leave a fur-like texture. I think this is my first real time trying to draw fur, and I want to say that it came out okay. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, or if you have any tips. Then I just put up a dark green background, added some snow, colored some line art, and here is If Vixen Was a Humanoid. Sorry Vixen. Next up is Blitzen, and I'm not gonna lie, this might just be my favorite drawing out of all the reindeer. I really wanted to play with perspective in this drawing. I don't think the result is as noticeable in the end, but I did try. I wanted to make Blitzen look as if she was looking down at you because I wanted her to be seen as very powerful. Since Blitzen means lightning in German, I looked up a bunch of perspective references, but I do feel like the perspective for Blitzen kind of lost that look in the end. I wanted to draw her wearing a big poofy dress for some reason, but instead of too poofy, I wanted the dress to be jagged in order to mimic the rough edges of lightning. When it came to her hair, I used this picture as a reference. Even though I really liked Blitzen's face, I also really wanted her hair to cover up some of it. I tried to strategically place the random strands of hair so that most of her dominant features would stay dominant, because I felt that you could really see how much power she had by her facial features alone. I feel like the hair turned out really cool, and I think it's why this piece is my favorite when compared to all the others. Speaking of hair, I know that Drawing with Waffles does this, so I wanted to as well. I'm going to link my Pinterest down below if any of you want to follow me on there. I have a couple of boards up, but the one I want to show you is going to be titled Poses I Use, and I'm going to try to pin every pose I use in my drawings from here on out, just in case any of you are interested. It's a little hard because I usually use 2 to 3 references per drawing just to make sure my drawing isn't an exact copy of a reference, but to also make sure that I'm getting as much reference as I need. But that is something I want to try out this upcoming year, so feel free to follow me on Pinterest. When it came time to the coloring of Blitzen, I really wasn't sure where this piece was going. Something I really want to work on next year is color comps, big time. I feel like the coloring choices in some of these pieces could have been way better, which is partly the reason I uploaded these as coloring pages. which by the way, the set in this video is also up on my DeviantArt if you'd like to color them. Also, I will be showing all of the ones you guys colored at the end of this video, so stay tuned. But yeah, no idea with the coloring on this one. I kind of wanted to go in a yellow direction since sometimes lightning can be perceived as yellow, but the yellow really threw me off, so I decided to go with white, which I really didn't want to because of the fact that it is very similar to Donner's colors, but it's the only thing that worked well in my opinion. You can see I cut the clip where I decided on the colors for Blitzen. It was sort of a long process. For the background lightning, I used the lightning brush in Metabang Paint Pro, which draws these really erratic lines, and I think it added so much texture to the piece. I also used that same brush for the background, just more blown up. Then I added some really simple shading, and here is Blitzen if she was a human. Last up is Dasher, which yes means that I did not draw Dancer or Prancer, which I will get to at the end of this video. My concept for Dasher was based upon the phrase "you look dashing," in which dashing meant stylish and fashionable. It is a term used mostly for men, but it inspired me to create a very fashionable lady. I wanted to draw a darker toned lady with big poofy hair because to me that screamed large and in charge. I wanted Dasher to be a very showy person, very into looking good and making sure you know. I also gave her these obnoxious in-your-face earrings, which I love. When it came to Dasher's hair, I had a rough time trying to line it, so I decided to line her hair very loosely and colored in completely, and then use that same color to add strands of loose hair to make it look a bit more lively. When it came to her outfit, I wanted to put her in a big furry coat. Faux, of course. You can find the reference to this coat on my Pinterest, like I mentioned before. And I paired this coat with a nice and warm sweater underneath. Then I drew her putting on some lipstick because a girl's gotta look fashionable no matter how cold. And here's where everything went wrong. The coloring. I almost don't even want to talk about it. So I decided to go pink first, but when I finished, it didn't look Christmassy at all, which I completely hated, so we went back in with red and green, and in the end, it looked a little better, but I'm still not jazzed about it. I'll let the video speak for itself. And here is if Dasher was human. Remember to vote in the poll for which reindeer design was your favorite. As for the absence of Prancer and Dancer, I did come up with a design for the two of them together. In my head, I thought it was pretty cool, however, I tried to draw it twice and both times I completely hated it. And I didn't want that fact to stop me from completing the other reindeer or from finishing the video, so I decided to just cut them from the list for now. However, I do realize that the reindeer come as sort of a set, and I owe it to Dancer and Prancer to give them one more try. So I will try again and post the finished results on my Instagram, Amino, and TikTok. Yeah, I'm now making videos on TikTok if you didn't know, so make sure you are following me on at least one of those platforms at FleshwadYT if you're interested in seeing what they turn out like. As for these three reindeer, you can find the coloring pages for free on my DeviantArt, which will be linked down below. If you do color them, please tag me on Instagram or Twitter at FleshwadYT. I'd love to see. Shoutouts to Instagram users at spammy_redraws, at kawaiichibiart, and at the _wolf_sister_10 for taking it upon themselves and coloring my page for Donner. They all came out so amazing, and it warms my heart to see you guys coloring something I drew. It's a very warm feeling. This video's featured art friend is at SK3L3KAN. I couldn't say that if I tried, but they did a redraw of Donner, and it is more gory than I could have ever hoped for my own art to be. However, since it is kind of very gory, I am censoring it on here, but please go and visit their page to see the full art in all its gory. That is going to be the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next video, stay warm. Bye.